The Super Hornet gets hit. Left stabilizer gone. Hydraulics bleeding out. You have 90 seconds before the jet leaves controlled flight. What do you touch first? We'll walk through Falcon 21's cockpit in real time, degraded sensors, asymmetric drag, backup flight controls, and the split-second call that keeps the nose inside the envelope while encrypted comms light up and the carrier group spins up SM-6 coverage. If you want the exact checklist that turns a kill shot into a managed crisis, stay here. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. When a sparrow tears the left tail off and the hydraulics dump, the switch you touch first decides whether the jet lives. Touch the wrong one and you load the airframe in the worst axis at the worst time. That's how a recoverable wound turns into a flat, unrecoverable spin. Falcon 21 sits at 7,100 meters, trimmed and steady, center of gravity well behaved. The radar tone warbles, then sharpens. The airframe thumps sideways, hard, bright, not atmospheric. The pilot feels the kick through the seat and the stick, a lateral snap that steals lift on one side and drags the airframe across its own slipstream. Now the fight turns inside the jet.
The vast U.S. military buildup in this region continues. There are now roughly 15,000 U.S. service members in this region, whether here in Puerto Rico or in the Caribbean Sea.
Putting U.S. troops on the ground is not off the table when it comes to possible military action against a South American country. The U.S. military continues to add firepower to an already major presence in the Caribbean.
Here, we've heard from a local mayor, 1,000 troops are now at a base in the west, and they're hosting the Reaper drones, armed with Hellfire missiles. These are ones that are thought to be taking out these suspected drug smuggling boats.
The left stabilizer is gone, which means drag is lopsided and pitch authority is cut on the damaged side. Both hydraulic channels feed the flight controls, but a line on one side is venting fluid. The right instinct is to stop the roll. But if you roll into the good wing too fast, you couple yaw and roll, and the nose slices across the relative wind. That's a departure setup. In the cockpit, buffet arrives and pulses, not a smooth shake. The master caution blooms. A left stab fail cue pops. One hydraulic system ticks down, digit by digit, like a fuse burning. The flight control pages mark out what's dead or degraded with X's. G-loads spike and drop as the digital brain hunts for a stable shape with ailerons, rudder, and the surviving stabilizer. Here's the trap. Modern Hornet controls are brilliant and loyal, but they work inside a small angle of attack window when hardware is missing. The computer will retrim with what it has, rudder, ailerons, the intact stabilizer, yet only if you keep AOA below the red line. Push past that, and the smartest code becomes a passenger. Think of a racing shell that just lost one oar. Every stroke yaws the boat. You can still go straight, but only if you shorten the stroke, slow the rate, and feel the water. The airplane wants that same restraint. Short, smooth inputs. Fewer big moves. Let the surviving surfaces take a set. Missile fragments do the dirty work here. A proximity fuse throws a ring of metal that cuts lines and chews actuators rather than punching a neat hole. You get severed hydraulics, spools that can't answer, and sensors that feed trash data for a few seconds. Those seconds are deadly because they tempt you to chase false cues. Chase hard, and you over-control. Meanwhile the clock is bleeding. The jet wants to roll left and sink its nose. Heavy rudder feels like the cure, but kick too much and you stall one wing first. That's the classic snap, a head-over-shoulder flop that dumps you into a spin. Freeze the hands and you lose energy instead. Airspeed decays, buffet deepens, and the next gust tips you past the edge.
The United States is expanding its military presence in the Caribbean as the White House weighs possible action inside Venezuela. The Trump administration says the buildup is part of its war on drugs.
New Pentagon images show a B-52 long-range bomber flying over the USS Gerald R. Ford as it steams toward the Caribbean, a provocative display of the American military power that is now being staged against Venezuela. The Roosevelt Roads base is one of 5 locations where U.S. forces are now operating on an American territory strategically positioned north of Venezuela.
So the pilot chooses sequence over drama. First, a small counterroll, just enough to arrest the left-wing drop without overbanking into the healthy side. A touch of rudder with it, not a kick, coordinated, so the nose stays in the airflow instead of slicing out. Then the throttle comes back out of afterburner. Extra thrust at high side slip multiplies yaw. Cut it, and the airframe stops corkscrewing itself. Next, mode select to the backup law the jet was built to offer. The digital brain sheds features and clings to core control. You accept rough edges for predictability. Then you point the nose into a shallow descent. Altitude becomes your bank account. You trade some of it for a bit more airspeed and a margin of AOA, careful not to overspeed the wounded side and tear more hardware. Hydraulic pressure settles in a degraded plateau as valves reroute and pumps catch up. The FCS stops chasing a perfect trim and finds a survivable one. The stick feels heavier, the response slower, but the roll stops drifting and the nose holds inside the envelope. You're not fighting the jet anymore, you're guiding a damaged machine that wants to live if you don't rush it. Meanwhile, encrypted comms scratch in the headset, calls, vectors, questions. None of it matters if the AOA needle climbs into the red hash. Keep it below the line. Keep the nose where the air is clean. Hold that, and you by the seconds the group needs to throw a shield across the sky. The next task is simple and brutal, ride the descent until the NAV page shows safe water and friendlies building a wall ahead. Survival came from sequence, not heroics. Diagnose the roll, guard AOA, shift modes, then spend altitude for control before chasing speed. That order keeps a damaged airframe honest. Skip a step and you slip past the edge. So what would you touch first, stick, throttle, or mode select, when a tail vanishes at altitude? Comment your choice below. If you want more cockpit-level breakdowns and the logic that keeps pilots alive, hit the subscribe button. Next time we map the shield that bought those 90 seconds, layered air defense, sensor fusion, and a shipborne interceptor that can reset a sky fight in a single, clean arc.